Today I'm going to show you how to use shapes in Microsoft Word. Go up here to Insert, and then choose Shapes from the Illustrations tab. Just left click on Shapes, and you get a whole list of different kinds of shapes. We've got your recently used shapes. These are shapes that I've used recently. You've got lines, rectangles, basic shapes, block arrows, equation shapes, flowchart, stars and banners, and callouts. So let's start with something simple. Let's click on the circle. It's a ellipse. Hold down the Shift key and it'll draw a perfect circle. If you go back here to Insert, Shapes, and I choose Rectangle, hold down Shift, and it'll draw a perfect square. Now if I don't hold down Shift and go and try it again, let's try the rectangle. If you don't hold down Shift, then it's going to not be perfect. Sometimes you want a rectangle, so that's when you would not hold down Shift. Now if you liked this kind of rectangle, just hold down Shift and then resize it. Shift, and now it'll maintain that aspect ratio. Of course, you can color these shapes to however you want. You can right click on a shape and it has an option for fill. I can choose any color. Maybe we want this one to be red, and maybe the outline can be green. But it's kind of hard to see the outline. It's kind of thin. So just right click, go to outline, and you'll see right below that there's weight. And I can choose the kind of weight that I want to add. Maybe it's a really thick one, 6 points. And now we have a red rectangle with a really thick border. There's other options that we have. If I right click on this circle, I can again go to Format Shape. And over here to the right, you've got fill options, line options. Over here you can do shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges. Let's just add a reflection to this. Let's do a preset and just choose this one. So now really quickly we added a reflection to that circle. Let's make it transparent. So let's go back to the fill right here. Under transparency it says 0. Let's make that 50%. So if we were to drag that over something, then you'd be able to tell. Right now this is behind this object, so you can't really see it, that it's transparent. Let's bring it up. Right click and go to Bring to Front. And you can see that it really is transparent. And notice whenever I select an object or a shape, an option called Shape Format appears at the top. So left click that. And you can see you have a lot of options here. You have the shape fill, the shape outline, which we already talked about, and the shape effects, again with those shadow, reflection, glow, and so on. So I can go to reflection again and then choose reflection. We also have bring forward, send backward, and we have this wrap text. If I left click that, you can see it's in line with the text, square, tight, behind, and front. So right now it's in front of the text. If I right click and just say bring to front, now it is the top object of everything. I can now bring it over and it's on top. If I bring this circle over here, you can see it'll fall behind it, and this rectangle will fall behind it because they are on the bottom. If I right click on this square, say bring to front, and now it is on top. Maybe we don't like the dimensions of this square. We can actually see the real dimensions over here on the right. It says height is 5.36 inches. The width is 2.08. I can click this up arrow and change the width or the height by going down and so on. I can select it. I'm going to type in 5 inches is the height, and let's do 6-inch width. So again, if we wanted a perfect square, we could just make these numbers match. So 5 inches by 5 inches would be a perfect square. We have rotation as well. We can rotate 90 degrees, we can flip vertical or flip horizontally. We can also rotate using this rotate tool. Any of these objects you click on will have this rotate icon right above it with a little circle and the arrow. Just left click on that and you can rotate it. The reflection updates as you do that rotation. Here to insert, we're in the illustration section and hitting shapes. Let's choose a different shape. Let's go down to the star section. I'm going to choose one of these stars. Here it is. Once again, I'm going to hold down Shift so it's a perfect star, so it's not squished. If I don't hold down Shift, remember what happens there. I'm going to go to Shapes, choose the same star, and this time not holding down Shift, you're going to get something like this, which maybe in some cases you want that. Notice there's a yellow point here, and a lot of shapes will have 1 or 2 of these points. For the star, if you just left click on it, it'll adjust the type of star that you want. If you want it to be more like this, you have that option, or drag it down and the corners come inward. insert, shapes, and now let's choose an arrow. So I've just drawn an arrow, but we can customize this arrow. I've already shown I can change the outline of the arrow, the color of the arrow. You do that right here under Shape Fill, Shape Outline. But again, here is the yellow little points. I can adjust it like so. So you have the base, width, and you've got the arrow vertical, how you want that. So as soon as you have it how you want it, you could then left click the rotation tool and then have it point to where you need. Insert, shapes. Let's choose this circle. It is a partial circle, just as another example. I'm gonna hit shift. And you kind of get this Pac-Man shape, and you can grab these points. Let's maybe kind of make it look like Pac-Man. You know, if you actually know what Pac-Man is, if you've studied ancient history and you've heard of this character, let me know in the comments. If you know what Pac-Man is and we want to create one real quick, I could just right click on this, go to fill, and guess what? I got yellow. That's easy. The outline, left click on that, choose no outline, and go to insert, shapes, choose a rectangle. Let's make a black background for this. Right click on this, go to send to back. Now that rectangle's on the back, I'm going to right click on it, go to the fill, choose black, and then we just go to insert, shapes, and then choose the circle. I'm going to hit shift again. I want this to be a yellow circle, so I right click, choose yellow, and then now we have the little Pac-Man pellets. I'm going to hit Control C and then Control V. And then Control V again. And just really quickly, we're able to make this little scene for Pac-Man. This would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's quick, easy, and it's free. Another great thing about any image in Microsoft Word is it's actually editable. A lot of people don't realize that. If you go to the star and say, you know what, I really didn't want this to be a star, I want to move this around, just right click on it and go to edit points. And you can also, by the way, add text. So if you want to add something to the middle of the star, you can say add text, and you can actually add text just like that. But what we're doing right now is right clicking, going to edit points. Click on that. Look at this. I can mouse over any of these points and move them around. I can make my own custom shapes. Not only can I move these around, but if I mouse over any of these points, I can right click and delete a point. I actually hit delete point. Now that point is gone. I don't want this one here. I go to delete point. Or I can move this around. These little white squares in between, these are curves. I can make this curve along just by moving this bar along. And now I'm inventing a brand new shape. Some people think you can only do something like this in Adobe Illustrator or some kind of vector program, but you can actually do this in Microsoft Word. Okay, another thing I want to point out is you might get frustrated if you try to do this. Maybe you're in the typing mode and you try to come back to this shape. You click on it and you're not able to edit these points. If you try right-clicking and you just had clicked on it, it's not going to show you those options. So be careful. You want to click on the very border of this box. This is the box showing you the boundaries of this object. So just right-click anywhere on the border. Then you get the options, edit points. I can even mouse over in this mode to one of these lines, right-click, and actually hit delete segment. Like I showed in a previous video with the images, you can do the same thing with the shapes. If I go to insert, shapes, and let's just grab a happy face here. We're going to draw it. I'm going to hold down shift. Now we have a happy face, but it's in front of the text. Again, just right click on it, go to wrap text, and choose square because it's currently in front of text. So let's choose square, and now we can move it around and the text follows and adjusts to where we put that image. And just like with shapes, you can also insert icons. So go up here to insert. Instead of hitting shapes, let's hit icons. So you have all these images to choose from. Let's choose this acorn here, click that, hit insert. If I want to do a custom editing of this icon, that is possible. Just go over to the top left where it says convert to shape. Click that, and now it is a shape. Now I can select these individual elements and say, you know what, let me right click on that and go to edit points. And now I can edit these points. I can move around these points just like we did with shapes. So the icons can become shapes. So now you have a lot of options to choose from. The things I showed you today are not commonly used by users of Microsoft Word. So you are now way ahead of anyone using Word. This would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's quick, easy, and it's free.